Hey friends, it's Dr. Christine Bradstreet of Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. Welcome to today's video. And today I have a funny personal story to tell you. And at the time, it did not seem funny at all, but it helped propel me down this path of finally putting an end to my chronic pain and chronic symptoms. So again, I'm Dr. Christine Bradstreet. I'm a retired chiropractor. I took care of people in my chiropractic practice for decades, people who had chronic pain. And boy, did I learn a lot through that experience. And then since I retired from chiropractic, I have really put all of my energy and focus into studying the mind-body connection, or what some people call TMS, or what some people call neural circuit symptoms. And that's why I'm creating these videos today, to help you end your chronic pain or chronic symptoms. So before I go ahead and tell you my kind of funny story, I'd like you to please subscribe to the video and give the video a thumbs up. I thank you very much. All right. Even though I had already read 2 of Dr. Sarno's books, and if you don't know who Dr. Sarno is, he's really one of the leaders in this field of mind-body pain, and he coined the term TMS, which is tension myositis syndrome. That was his word for the pain or symptoms that you get from this phenomenon of mind-body pain, and he's got some excellent books if you really want to take a deeper dive. But anyway, so I was already familiar with this concept of healing mind-body pain, but at the same time I still was having a lot of chronic GI symptoms. I had chronic reflux, chronic gastritis, a lot of food sensitivities. The reflux and gastritis were keeping me awake for hours every night, for weeks, sometimes even months at a time. I was often nauseous. I was pretty miserable, and I was very desperate for an answer, because even though I had been studying these concepts, I really didn't have much success yet as far as overcoming them. And I wasn't convinced that my gastrointestinal symptoms were also mind, body, or TMS, or neural circuit symptoms. Because we've all been there, right? The symptoms are so real and so strong in your body. You're convinced that something's got to be wrong in your body. And of course, you're afraid that something really bad could be wrong, like cancer or illness or a disease or a tumor or something like that. I had been having these GI symptoms for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I'm talking daily, pretty severe symptoms. They really were interfering with what I could do in my sleep and my quality of life and my enjoyment of life. It was really a miserable time for me. And I had already seen a gastroenterologist. I had already been scoped and tried the anti-acid medicines, tried all sorts of different things. Nothing helped, nothing worked, which is a common indicator that it's mind-body, correct? So I had moved to a different state, and I saw a new gastroenterologist. And English was not her native language. So she spoke with a fairly thick accent. And I was explaining to her the GI symptoms that I get, and she kept interrupting me and saying, "It's your personality." And I would try to explain myself a little bit more, and she'd say, "It's your personality." And I'd say, "But no, you don't understand. I have this and I have that, and it feels like this and it feels like that." And she'd say, "No, it's your personality." Well, I was getting very frustrated, to say the least, because part of me knew there was an element of truth. Even though her delivery was very poor, and I felt it was somewhat offensive the way she phrased it, and she wasn't being a very good listener, and she was talking over me. But part of me, because I had read Sarno's books, part of me understood she might be onto something. And of course, most of the parts of me said, "This lady is a jerk. There's clearly something wrong with me, and I don't appreciate her telling me that it's my personality." And the funny thing is, that's a bit of a catch-22, right? Because if I were to sit in her office and start getting very angry and insist, "How dare you tell me it's my personality? It is not my personality," she would have then proof to say, "You see, it's your personality." I felt like I was really caught in a bind with that one, and I never went back to her. But I tell you, that interaction stuck in my mind. And then as I began to study more and better understand the concepts of TMS and or neural circuit symptoms and or mind-body symptoms, not only understand it on an intellectual level, but believe it, to give up my insistence that something physical had to be wrong with me, and to say, you know what? I believe it's possible that this is nothing more than TMS. And then I began to live my life as if this is nothing more than TMS. Does it hurt sometimes? Yeah. Does it make me feel sick sometimes? Yeah. Is it a pain sometimes? Of course. But this is nothing dangerous. This is nothing more than TMS. I will get better, and I am going to live my life as if this is nothing more than TMS. And guess what happened? The symptoms began very quickly to resolve. And now I can happily say this chronic problem of mine is something that's in the past. Now, that is what I want for you. So the moral of today's story, however, is there's going to be resistance to believing that the problem is not a physical problem, that it's a brain problem, because of our society putting a stigma on it, which is really just a misunderstanding. Everybody's brain has the fight or flight system built into it. We wouldn't have survived as human beings in this world if we didn't have that. So your brain is no different than every other human brain on this planet. The only thing that has happened is that your brain got a little bit mixed up about what is dangerous and what is not dangerous. And it's confusing a few signals as danger when they are not actually truly danger. Are they uncomfortable? Quite likely. Are they dangerous? Absolutely not. So, I guess I just want to remind you, there is no judgment, there is no self-criticism in having a condition that is the result of your brain getting its wires a little bit crossed. I mean, that's all that's happening. Your brain is getting its wires a little bit crossed. It's working a little too hard. You've got a brain that's too good at protecting you. So it's not a defective brain. It's not a faulty brain. It's not a weak brain. It's a brain that's actually a little bit too vigorous, too strong, too eager to protect you. And hey, that probably has its upsides as well. So when you shine a light on that, when you shine a light on this is just a mix-up in my brain, yes, there are personality traits that tend to make you more prone to these types of neural circuit symptoms, and I talk about that in an earlier video. Traits like perfectionism, controlling, people-pleasing, the inability to say no or draw boundaries, a high level of self-criticism, people who are do-gooders, people who want excellent results and are very production-driven. These are common traits that make you more susceptible to mind-body pain or make your mind-body pain worse. But when a doctor tells you it's your personality, that's maybe not the best way to deliver the news. So that is why I'm glad you're here. I very much hope, my friends, that I'm doing this with kindness and compassion and that you're not feeling judged by it. Hey, we're walking in the same shoes. I suffered with chronic pain and other sorts of chronic symptoms for decades, since I was a teenager up until just a few years ago. So I understand, and I'm not condemning myself for it, nor am I condemning you for it. I hope you found my story a little bit funny, or maybe can relate to it. Hey, please drop a note in the comments. Let me know how maybe people have mentioned to you that this could possibly be mind-body. And if you have suggestions on kind, compassionate, yet honest ways to share this with other people, because it's not easy to tell somebody, hey, your pain's not in your back, it's in your brain. So let me know how the words landed for you. What finally got through to you? Have you found words that are good to use for other people? All right, friends, I'm Dr. Christine Bradstreet of Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. I will see you on the next video. Please give it a thumbs up before you go. Bye-bye.